Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. This time, we're stepping into the world of The Collector, a short story by Donald Firesmith. And let me tell you, this one's a real page-turner.
Oh, I know this story.
Yeah. So, Firesmith plunges us right into the heart of it, introducing us to Marjorie. She's got this, well, all-consuming passion, you could say, for ceramic houses. Not just any houses, mind you, but these meticulously crafted miniatures.
Right.
He paints such a vivid picture, describing rooms just overflowing with these tiny dwellings. You almost feel like you're shrinking down yourself, like you've wandered into some kind of eerie dollhouse landscape.
It's a really effective technique, isn't it? The way Firesmith uses the setting to create this unsettling atmosphere.
Absolutely. And speaking of unsettling, there's something about Marjorie's obsession that's both fascinating and, I don't know, maybe a little bit unnerving.
Yeah, I see that. It's like he gives us these glimpses into her past, right? The loss of her husband, her children moving on with their lives. Her world, as she knew it, is gone.
It's like she's trying to rebuild it, wouldn't you say? But in miniature form, piece by tiny piece.
Exactly. And each carefully placed ceramic house represents this attempt to regain a sense of control, to create order in a world that suddenly felt anything but orderly.
Firesmith even mentions how her friends, when they visit, feel like they're in a land of Lilliputians.
It's as if she's trying to shrink her problems down to a manageable size.
It's a really interesting way to put it. So we see this pattern emerge. Every Sunday, while others are at church, Marjorie is scouring antique shops, flea markets, always on the hunt for that one special piece.
It's like a pilgrimage for her.
It really speaks to the psychology of collecting, don't you think? The allure of the rare, the unique, the thrill of the chase.
Absolutely. It's about the desire to possess something that nobody else has, to complete a collection, to make it truly your own.
And speaking of unique finds, Marjorie stumbles upon this, well, peculiar antique shop, Aaron's Antiques it's called. And let me tell you, it's a far cry from Marjorie's bright and cheerful collection. Firesmith describes it as almost sinister, shrouded in dust and shadows, owned by this incredibly old man who seems to see right through her. What'd you make of that contrast?
Oh, it's deliberate, for sure. Firesmith uses the antique shop, with its dusty relics and its enigmatic owner, as a symbol of the unknown. It's like Marjorie stepping outside of her carefully curated world into a realm that's a little darker, a little less predictable. It creates this sense of foreboding, wouldn't you say? Like something's about to happen, something unexpected.
Absolutely. And what awaits her in this mysterious realm,
Wow.
well, that's where things get really interesting. So picture this. Marjorie standing in this dusty, dimly lit shop, and her eyes fall upon something that both captivates and unsettles her.
Oh, I remember this, the ceramic replica of the shop itself, right?
Right. It's this exquisitely crafted miniature, every detail mirroring the actual shop, down to the dusty windows and the crooked sign.
It's like stepping into one of those Russian nesting dolls, a shop within a shop.
Exactly. And you can practically feel Marjorie's obsession growing. She's got to have it. But what do you make of this miniature shop symbolically? I mean, it's more than just a clever plot device, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think it cuts to the core of Marjorie's deepest desires. It represents the unattainable, that elusive piece that would make her collection truly complete. And it also reflects this deeper yearning for control, to possess something so unique, so perfectly representative of the world she's trying to create.
It's like she's staring at a miniature version of her own desires, all contained in this delicate ceramic structure. And of course, she has to have it. So Firesmith walks us through these increasingly desperate attempts to buy the replica from the shopkeeper. She offers him more and more money, but he refuses every offer. And as her frustration mounts, we see this different side of Marjorie emerge.
Oh, yes. This is where things start to unravel.
Right. It all culminates in that pivotal scene. A stormy night. Marjorie standing outside Aaron's Antiques, a brick in her hand. The tension is palpable, wouldn't you say?
You can practically feel the storm brewing both outside and inside of her.
What do you think drives Marjorie to this act of destruction? I mean, this isn't the Marjorie we were first introduced to.
No, definitely not. This is where Firesmith masterfully peels back her carefully constructed facade. That act of smashing the window, it's not just about acquiring the ceramic shop. It's about breaking free from the constraints she's placed on herself, the societal norms she's always adhered to. It's a release of all that pent-up frustration, a transgression fueled by this all-consuming desire.
It's such a powerful image. The rain, the darkness, and then the shattering of glass. It's almost as if by breaking that window, she breaks something within herself.
Yes. And what follows is like something straight out of a nightmare. She reaches through that shattered window and finds herself shrinking, transforming into a miniature figure trapped within the very shop she coveted.
Talk about a twist. It's a classic case of be careful what you wish for, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Firesmith masterfully flips the script, turning the collector into the collected. It's a chilling reminder of the fine line between appreciation and obsession, how the act of collecting can sometimes mask this deeper desire for control.
And in Marjorie's case, that desire backfires, leading to her own objectification and that ending. He leaves us with so much to unpack. Is this her punishment for her destructive actions? Or has she, in some twisted way, gotten exactly what she desired?
That's the brilliance of Firesmith's writing, isn't it? The ambiguity. He doesn't offer any easy answers or neatly tied up resolutions. We're left to ponder not only Marjorie's fate, but also the motivations of the antique shop owner himself. Is he this malevolent figure taking pleasure in trapping others within his collection? Or is he simply a shrewd businessman capitalizing on the desires of collectors like Marjorie? The story leaves us questioning our own assumptions about collecting, obsession, and the consequences of unchecked desire.
It's a chilling thought, to be so consumed by desire that you become a prisoner of the very thing you coveted. And as we grapple with Marjorie's fate, Firesmith offers this unsettling glimpse into the antique shop owner's collection. Remember those dusty shelves filled with countless ceramic figures?
Oh, yes. It's easy to overlook them amidst the drama of it all.
But it makes you wonder about their stories, doesn't it? Were they once driven by desires similar to Marjorie's? Did they, too, succumb to the allure of the unattainable?
Exactly. And that's the brilliance of Firesmith's storytelling. He doesn't offer any easy answers, any neatly tied up resolutions. He leaves us with these lingering questions, these unsettling possibilities that stay with us long after we finish the story. The antique shop, with its trapped figures, becomes this powerful metaphor for the complexities of desire, that fine line between passion and obsession, and the unexpected consequences of our choices.
It's a lot to unpack. And it really makes you think about your own relationship with the things you collect, the things you desire. When does a harmless hobby cross that line, into something more consuming?
Right. Where do we draw the boundaries?
The collector offers this powerful cautionary tale, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable treasures aren't material possessions, but the lessons we learn about ourselves and the choices we make. So the next time you find yourself captivated by a rare find, maybe a first edition of your favorite book or a vintage record you've been searching for, remember Marjorie's story. Ask yourself, what's driving this desire? And what am I willing to sacrifice in its pursuit? And with that, we wrap up our deep dive into The Collector by Donald Firesmith. We hope this exploration has given you a new appreciation for the power of short stories, especially their ability to spark these thought-provoking questions. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, sometimes the most fascinating stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers.